channel. Well, whenever I go to Dollar Tree, I try to pick up some stuff, and this was one of them. Now remember, this is $1.25 is how much this thing costs. But it's an LED headlamp. I would not use it for bike riding other than to be seen. I don't think you're gonna be able to project very far, because these type of lights are just flood. They're not spot at all. Now they're good. Let me turn this light off. I mean, they're bright, but only for close up. You know, I mean, it floods out. It comes with a bright mode, a lower mode. You don't see that flickering that the camera sees. And then for some reason, they got to include a strobe in it. Why you want to be strobing on your head, I don't know. But it takes 3 AAA batteries. You got to be really careful when opening this, because it's just, you know, this is your only holding mechanism. And basically these ears back here are where you can kind of pry with. See that? But it's held in there fairly hard, and then there's your button right above it. Now I did that and it didn't break. I thought that meant that we just lost that, because usually you're gonna break something, you know, with stress like that. I put these batteries in here. It doesn't come with any batteries. Now, along the same line, so this is a wall switch type of light. It's got some little hook and loop with the 3M type backing tape on the back, a little battery compartment, and a little thing you can use like a little stand here, kind of indirect illumination, or prop it up. It's only got one position. It's not a bunch of. Remember, we're dealing with $1.25. Doesn't come with the batteries, but I've got some batteries in there. And then it's just, now, what's the problem with the light switch, with the light at the switch? Because usually a light switch is in some convenient location, but it's illuminating overhead. So that's the only thing I can say about light switch type of lights. And this is not, of course, waterproof or anything like that. You have to supply your own batteries. I've got some Amazon ones in there. Hair everywhere. There's hair everywhere. Yeah. But that's not too bad. You know, you can put it underneath the cabinet. You could super glue some magnets, just as long as you don't interfere with the opening of it. You know, I'd mount a magnet, you know, right here or something. And then if you had a metal place, you could just clink, you know, put that on there. Beside your bed, you know, if you get up, you could definitely see, you know, walking to the bathroom or looking around. Yeah, not bad for $1.25, I'd say. Now, another thing is you can find free batteries. This is a regular manufactured 16340 Sofirm battery, 800 milliamps. You can find these things being thrown away, which is where I found this one, thrown away. And I'd wear gloves. I didn't, but I mean, you should. And you pry these ends off here with a pair of pliers. Don't touch that, because that's where the nicotine, or, you know, all the bad stuff is. And you don't want that to get on you. And then this is a heating coil. I just snipped the leads off of it. So I'm going to toss this. I just kept it just to show you. You know, this is where the charge port went. And this is this little air hole thing. I had to look this up. I kind of figured it out on my own, but I had to look it up on YouTube to figure out what this thing is. Because to me, it looks like a switch, right? Stuff comes in, stuff goes out, but it's got to go through this. And there's a little diaphragm here. Let's see if I can zoom in. It's like a little element, you know, a paper element. So this is, I think, a pressure transducer. So when you suck on the, there's no on-off switch on this thing. So when you suck on this thing, it senses the pressure and turns on the heating element, is my guess. And then this is a battery, a USB-C battery charge board here. I looked up this one, I couldn't find this, but there's other ones called like a TP40, 64, 65, something like that. Oh, I'll put it down there if it's important. But the thing about this battery is, look what we got here. We have a 16350, 3.7 volts, 650 milliamps, 2.41 watt hours. It looks really weird, this wiring system they've got up here, but it's basically got a plus and a minus, and this wrap around it. You could take a lot of that stuff off and still get to your battery. Now, would you be able to substitute that for, you know, for this and drop it into your flashlight and have it work? Well, these usually have a protective circuit on it, but not always. You know, I think this one's unprotected battery also. But you'd have to jury rig something, you know. I mean, it might work in a survival situation. Just snip all this off and give yourself a good center post lead there and make sure everything matches up physically. But the main thing I was going to do with this is take these batteries out. Not necessarily keep this charge module. I mean, you can still charge the battery up with this. But what I was going to try to convert these to is like a solar panel or something. Now, the thing you've got to remember is this is lithium ion, so you got to be careful with that. But it's also, you got to get the voltage is important. So when this one charges with the USB-C, there's a little light. There's two LEDs. One comes on over here, and then one goes off when it's finished charging everything up. And we don't really need this crap in the middle, you know, right there. But if you're gonna put it in a solar panel, you got to have like a 5-volt solar panel, and then like probably a different. You can buy these little battery management modules that are either micro USB or USB-C. This got a little thing on it, but they're fairly easy to wire up. This one's different, but you usually have like a little post for input voltage plus and minus, and then battery plus and minus, and then out to the solar panel or whatever. But yeah, but these batteries are still good, and so I'm going to throw this crap away and probably leave this like it is. But you just want to make sure that any leads you got exposed, you know, are not coming in contact with anything else, because the negative is exposed here and the positive is exposed here. So if you just drop this in something, yeah. So what I'm going to do is put this in a Ziploc bag, and that's, you know, helps insulate it and keep it all together. And if I need it, there it is. But you can find a lot of these little battery packs that, you know, these things are disposable. So once it goes out, they just throw the whole thing away, which is a big waste. Environmentally nasty. But anyway, you'll find them on the street a lot of times, in the parking lot. I found this one in the parking lot, laying down, and went. My thought was, ooh, battery. Maybe even a charge circuit, you know. But yeah, there you go. I've got other ones too. Let me find one other one. So yeah, just throw all the other crap away. But this one is 3.7 volts, 280 milliamp hours. And you could break this code down, I guess, and get some kind of size out of it, but it's just a little lithium ion type of thing. And, you know, let me turn this light off. When you push this, it turns on the power, you know, coming out of there, coming out of the little circuit. But again, you got a little, this one's a micro USB. You've got all kinds of little things that you can salvage. These type of batteries are good for little projects, and if you need to repower them, like you can replace in your remote control and stuff like that. You could just, you'd want to get rid of this little switch function, you know, because you don't need that. You need the juice, you know, basically going through. But you could just basically wire it up into anything that requires batteries that you're replacing, you know, because this is pretty small and has a pretty good capacity. Usually it's about the same as these three stacked together. These are 1.2s or basically 1.5s. So that's what they're designed to handle. And, you know, if you're handy, you know, with taking things apart and a hot glue gun, you could change this over to a little free battery source. You wouldn't even have to stick with, let me get this part here. I'm looking the wrong way. Yeah, you could replace these guys with this. Just drop that in there. Of course, you know, you might have to take this out. Do a little modification, changing things around. But instead of recharge, you know, taking those out and recharge, you could just recharge this up like that if you wanted to. There are things like this on YouTube. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave this the way it is. But I'm just saying that if you find junk or what you think is junk, and you know anything about even a little bit of electronics, you don't even know a lot. You just basically got to remember that you don't want to short these suckers out. When you take them apart, sometimes I watched one guy was taking one apart and the battery started getting hot, and so he just yanked the wires. But yeah, you never know how this circuit, maybe he tripped something, I don't know. Told it to turn on, but the battery shouldn't get hot. You know, the leads might, the battery shouldn't get hot unless it's drawing a lot of current. And you don't want that with lithium. But anyway, yeah, there you go. Yeah, just be careful with stuff like this and things like this. You want to handle with gloves because, you know, somebody's mouth's been on that. And then the internal ingredients, it's concentrated too, you know. It's concentrated stuff. So liquid form, you could absorb it through your skin. I don't know if it'd be necessarily lethal, but I don't think it'd be good for you. Because, yeah. So there you go. I'll keep you updated on little things. They had a little flashlight too, stuff like that. But I just looked at them and I went, that's crap, you know. But yeah, in a survival situation, if you needed, you know, to power your flashlight with a recharge, you could use this as a little charge up system, and then you'd have to make it fit, you know, with like electrical tape, stuff like that, and you could probably get that to work temporarily, you know. As the zombies are coming, you need the light on to see the zombies. But yeah, there you go. That's just my little look at that. This is how you carry your spare battery. That's just my little thing on kind of like Dollar Tree stuff. Now this one was free, but it was from Workhos, you know, and it's just a little bit better than those. This one I think retails for like $6 or $7. Now Dollar Tree does have a section where it's like up to $5 or so, or in that aisle. I think it's up to or start. Anyways, Yeah, I've seen things for less. I think things for like $3 in there. But I haven't seen any flashlights or stuff like that. They still go with this. So yeah, just keep in mind, it's inexpensive. These work out fairly good. Now this headlamp here would be okay for like working on your underneath your sink, something like that, where you're a lot of flood for up close is all right, but not for walking, not for bicycling, stuff like that, because it's gonna spread out too much. I don't know. I'll try it. I'll try it at night with all the lights on in here, off in here, and I'll see what it does. But I don't expect much, because you need some kind of focusing. Even though this has got these little like bug eye effect. I'm a bug. But it has a reflector, it has focus. This is just flat out light, like just straight up right there, just like these. They're not gonna they're gonna illuminate a wide area, but they're not gonna illuminate further away. They're just not gonna do it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that, and if you didn't, maybe you learned not to mess with these things. They're dangerous, but they're useful. It's like components that are free. If you know how to do anything with stuff, you can take free stuff and power like your solar power lamps, out and lighting your sidewalk or whatever. These will have enough juice to last all night. They'll charge up during the day and they'll last all night if you wire them up. But your solar panel has got to be rated for that voltage. A lot of those, if they're running off these little NiCads and stuff, are probably only like a 2-volt solar panel, and it won't put up enough volts to start charging this thing. But a 5-volt, you want to put some protection circuit in there, because 5 volts is too much for a 3.7 volt lithium-ion battery. The most you want to go is 4.2 on one of those. You start getting up to 5 volts, you're going to have a problem of overcharging if you don't have some kind of circuit built in there. But yeah, all that stuff's easy to do. Anyways, I've run my mouth long enough. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Forgot to mention, this little cutting board right here was at Dollar Tree. So, I mean, that's pretty good. It's fairly sturdy mat. You could still use it for, like, if you're videotaping or something like that. And these little toolboxes. Again, only $1.25. I'll throw all my crap in there. Now, it's not super secure. You got to make sure that's latched real well. But you can put a little tiny padlock on there. Now, the tiny padlock is mainly to keep you from picking this up and go and spilling everything. Which, believe me, not on this one, but I've done that on many a toolbox that's hinged like this before. You think it's latched, and you pick it up. And then you pick up everything you just dropped. So, yeah, that's a couple of more things that was at Dollar Tree. So, there you go. I'm not sponsored by Dollar Tree. My sister works there. It's about the only affiliation I've got with Dollar Tree. So, just FYI. None of the dinosaurs were involved in this videotaping, nor were they harmed.